All right, fam. Another day, another workout, and today we had some accessory work, but specifically hamstrings and glutes workout. So we started off with hip thrust as well, and I want you guys to stay with me right to the end of the video because I'm going to be going through the whole workout with our reps and sets. And this was actually a nice brutal one for your hamstrings and glutes. So guys and girls as well, this is an awesome glute pump and awesome hamstring pump. So starting off with our hip thrust as well. Now the hip thrust is a movement that can be a little bit uncomfortable to set up. Once you set it up, it makes it so much easier. Now a little bit of a tip with our hip thrust is we want to ensure we set up first, but go in nice and slow for the setup. Maintain control. Once you actually get it up, it makes it so much easier. You can lift your toes up slightly to push through your heels, drive your knees out, and drive your hips up. Try not to swing your torso too much when you're lifting. Try and rely on your actual hip extension movement to lift the weight. So this is where we're trying to build our power. It's a little bit of loading on our lower back, but if you keep your core nice and tight, that should actually reduce that loading. So that's awesome. And then we moved on to some RDLs. So a nice little bent leg coming down, driving our hips forward to bring the weight back up and getting that nice control in. Getting that nice stretch, trying to come down as low as we can as well. And you can see me as I pull my torso down and my hips slightly back, so basically hinge our hips to start the movement as well. And it's a nice little eccentric movement to start, and I like that little stretch on it. Now when we're working with our hamstrings, that control on the eccentric phase, that negative phase, is very important. So that's where we actually want to focus more of our attention on. So controlling the eccentric phase is probably the most important part. The concentric phase of that isn't too bad. We can actually exploit through the concentric phase to get our glutes loaded for this one and increase that tension in our glutes. And at the end of the day, you get a further range of motion, and you can really squeeze your glutes in when you go explosive with the concentric. Bear in mind that you want to make sure that your lower back is still fine while you do this movement and you're not putting any direct pressure on it. So if you start to feel your lower back at any point in this movement, just give it a stop for a second. Make sure your core is switched on and ensure you are doing it the right way. A great way as well that you can do this is you can also slowly slow down the movements. If you're not feeling your hamstrings and glutes while you're doing this, slow it down, especially on the negative phase or coming down phase. Slow it down so you can really feel it, especially if you get heavier weights. A lot of the time it's harder for you to feel the movement if you also lean too far forward and you take the pressure away from your hamstrings as opposed to your quads as well too. So yeah, these are little tips that you can do that will actually help you while performing the movements. And this was what I was executing throughout my second exercise of the day, and it was such a good one as well. Overall, I've been pretty sore from the week. My 300 kilo deadlifts is what got me the most that day. 300 by 3 by 3, and obviously the workout after. And my calves are in like so much pain right now as well too. So I had to be very smart with my training. Now I love this workout and I love this exercise in general because it really focuses on our hamstrings and glutes. So one of the main key things we're doing here is we're trying to get our torso as low as possible. Great for squat depth as well, and I'm going to show you a different angle of it from the front in a second, so then that way you guys can actually see. So what we're trying to do is focusing on pushing our knees out throughout the movement and coming down as low as we can. Obviously with the benches there, it just allows us to go that little bit deeper than if we're doing this exercise on the ground. You know, if you were actually doing this on the ground, you'll be very limited with your range of motion. So this just allows us to score really deep as well. And some key tips on this one is you just want to try and keep your torso up while you're doing this. Maintain that core stability, pushing those knees out, driving through our heels, and making it count. Nice, great way to actually get that involved. And what you want to do is you also want to drive your hips forward at the same time as well, and make sure you're squeezing your glutes because it's a great glute hamstring exercise, especially with the range of motion of this exercise. It just allows you to go that low. So that's awesome. This is a great one for glute hamstring day, so make sure you guys save this. And again, you can really challenge yourself with this. So I went up to the 60 kilos. You can't really see right now, but yeah, that's 60 kilos dumbbells. Again, it all depends on how much it is to hold. Like, that wasn't very challenging for me. I feel like I could have gone like 70 or 80 kilo dumbbells. So that's it's a very easy exercise to execute. Again, very comfortable, and yeah, one I'll definitely recommend, especially ensuring that my lower back is actually, in a good place, in good position. Great for also improving your squat depth as well too, because it makes you travel through that depth while keeping your torso up. Like I said, the key is slowing down the movements. Okay. Now up next, this was awesome. What we were trying to do is making sure we're keeping that control, coming down and then driving our hips forward to lift our weight back up. So trying to get our glutes, hamstrings as involved as possible. I had to readjust a little bit. Once I got on, I was fine. Again, it's all about making sure we're driving those hips forward. And this is one of the most important things when it comes to glute hamstring training. There's a few little key factors that you guys want to take into consideration. So driving through our heels, pushing those hips forward as well, to driving them forward so we can activate and utilize the power from our glutes. So this is very, very important. And then I added a little bit of weight on there to make this a little bit more challenging as well, because obviously my first set would have been more of a like warm-up set, getting a nice feel. And yeah, you could just start to feel my glutes burn after a few. And again, today I wasn't going hard or super savage like my other workouts. It's more of a recovery accessory day session is what I'll call it. Every day is not a hard, crazy training session. Just allowed me to work on a lot of my lagging muscle growths and, still hit my glutes, hamstrings fully at the same time too. But, still get a good workout out. That's one of the main things. Like, I got a good workout out. I didn't skip a day. My energy output was high. And I felt good. I got to work on those lagging muscle groups that I don't usually sometimes have a chance to fully target. And different exercises. You can see every single exercise is one exercise that you guys would not have seen in my previous videos. So, which is awesome because it's completely different. Again, exercises I don't do usually through my programming for this power programming, all in here. These are some of the exercises I don't do. So these I'll leave on my accessory there, which is awesome, and really get a good feel for it. So that's the main thing. It's about keeping that. And over here was something a little bit different what we did. So we're doing some RDLs with the kettlebells, and in between each set, we're basically going to squat in there for the rest break. So giving the squat hold for the rest break to some isometric contractions, which was awesome. It really kept the burn on our hamstrings and our glutes at the same time too. Now this was really challenging me with this one. My lower back started to flare up a little bit with that, and I could see why now after watching the video. My forming technique was pretty out. Okay, with this one I could have even bent my knees slightly, push my knees out, and then utilize my hip extension movements to get a bit of pressure off. I was literally trying to lift through my lower back. So now I understand, and this is why I like recording my workout sometimes, because now I can actually realize some of the wrongs I was doing, and it can help me improve. So yeah, these are some of the little things, but it all counts, right? It all counts. So you got to make the most of it. You got to make sure that you are working on your technique daily. And like I like to critique myself, like I said, we're not all perfect. We're all trying to get better at the same time too. And like, no use in doing wrong technique and thinking it's right, because at the end of the day, it doesn't only help like you improve when you actually get better technique. It makes your whole training so much better, and you can also progress a lot faster too. Just want to say a big thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys. Hope you guys are having a great day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Your boy is out. Peace.